It's true that social media imposes a lot of negatives on the mental health of children. It has its positives also. However, banning social media for children under 16 may not be the right step. The most important reason is that mobile phones and digital technology has become part of our life. At the house also, many people use it. So amidst this sanctioned and useful usage of social media and mobile phones and digital technology, it may not be practical to impose a ban. That is the first thing. Second thing is that estimating the age of children is going to be difficult, and once it is enforced, probably that will be an intrusion into their privacy also. The third thing is that in any situations there is a ban, there are illegal ways of getting entry into it. Take the case of drug addictions. There are a lot of operations happening to sell these prohibited drugs to children and adults. Actually, social media is also an addiction. It's a behavioral addiction. Once this behavior assumes the dimension of an addiction, there will be players in the industry and in the illegal industry to sell this product bypassing the law. So we are actually promoting another mafia which will be effective in probably penetrating into the children and selling social media. So I think this is not the right step. Perhaps better control, probably awareness building for judicious usage, judgmental usage will be the right step. Probably developing a culture of digital literacy is the right step towards probably minimizing the impact of social media on the mental health of children. The teenage brain and a child's brain are brain under construction. It is in the growing phase. Mind being the function of brain is also evolving at this age. Any content that is not suitable for them will have very damaging effect on their personality development and character formation. So the most important thing is the damage that can happen to the personality development of these children if they are exposed to contents which are not suitable for them. Second thing is that social media is very addictive. Social media has lot of attractive contents, very fast-paced visuals, and moreover, that stimulates children to probably create content also. The response is very immediate. They get likes, it is being commented upon, it is being shared, and that gives a great stimulus to use it more and more, eventually pushing them into an addiction. And it steals away the time for other developments. A child and a teenager needs the right quota for physical activity, the right quota for face-to-face interactions, the right quota of experiences for socialization, and also enough time to nurture for their extracurricular talents and hobbies. All these will get drowned in the excessive usage of social media. Eventually, you get a product that is grown with none of these things developed, but only the attachment to the social media. Very, very damaging. And it takes away the time for academics. It takes away their mood. They start comparing with what they see in the social media. Many would be posting so many big stories which may not be true. Start thinking that, look, I have not been able to achieve this. Start developing feelings of inferiority. eventually pushing them into depression, anxiety, and a sense of inferiority. It has been found that children who use excess of social media have a tendency to be depressed, be anxious, and has real, genuine difficulties in socialization. They start withdrawing from social relationships. The other thing is about the contents that are not suitable. Digital world can invite them into contents like sexuality, aggression. All these things in a brain under constructions will be copied. Maybe they will have a tendency to probably imitate these things, which would alter their behavior also. Those children who are sort of addicted to social media and the digital world have a tendency to be very angry when these things are deprived of. They become very violent. They have all features of a person who is addicted to a substance. They will have withdrawal symptoms. They start telling lies about using social media. They get connected with strangers who would eventually exploit them. And there are instances where personal information have been shared with strangers who sexually exploit these children. There are instances where children have shared their nude photos, eventually being subjected to blackmailing. All these things have a very serious impact on their psychological well-being. Nowadays, children are into reel making, wherein they make shorts of 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and start posting into the social media world. And they are spotted, and probably people who want to exploit these children target on them also. So it's an unsafe world. So on the whole, indulging lot in social media can be a problem for their personality development, social relationships, emotional control, and even that might create blocks in their academic and career development also. Another worrying concern about the psychological issue stems from cyberbullying. It has been found that many children are subjected to cyberbullying. There are children who has a tendency to bully other children through online also. This has a very serious effect on the psychological well-being of a child. Many children are depressed, many children are frustrated. They do not know what to do, where to complain, how to stop. In that confusion, there are instances where children have committed suicide also. The earliest sign a parent should notice is that the children start drifting from their primary responsibilities like studies and extracurricular activities. Whenever there is an opportunity, you can see the child grabbing the mobile phone and probably scanning through it. And there is an undue hurry in finishing the homework, compromising the quality of homework, and he or she starts browsing on the net. All these things are early indicators. The parent can notice that there is a steady increase in the screen time of the children. When questioned, the child becomes very angry. He or she starts telling excuses that I am not using it in excess. Probably talk back saying that you are also looking at the mobile. There is always an air of anger whenever this sort of behavior is being checked. Just imagine a situation when the parent is frustrated and snatches the mobile from the child. The child threatens suicide. Sometimes he or she says that he will run away from home if it is not given, or even throw tantrums like He may throw away articles in the room. All these things are indicators that your child is getting addicted to the digital device, most likely using it for social media activities. The sleep is disrupted. When everyone is sleeping, like a thief, he grabs the device, browses, probably chat with a stranger or chat with friends, probably engaging online gaming, and eventually in the morning, he is very sleepy. You get reports from the school that in the classroom he is sleepy just because he has not been sleeping, probably spending time on the digital device. At the emotional front, you see that the child is prone for anger outbursts, probably depressed, gloomy. The reason may be that probably he is comparing himself with some other peer who has achieved, or probably he has posted that he has achieved something great, and start thinking that I am not good enough. Or maybe he or she is cyberbullied. He cannot tell it to, disclose it to the parents, because most likely the trigger of the cyberbullying may have started with probably an indecent exposure. Maybe the child is showing sexuality that is not appropriate for his age or her age, mostly because he or she has watched sexuality through online, which is not a suitable content for him or her. So all these things could be an indicator for social media abuse of children. The sad thing is that amidst extensive usage of the digital device for academic things, parents miss it. They pick it up only late. They are not vigilant. That's where parental control is a continuous process. It is not just when they have spotted that their child is hooked to social media. It is a continuous process. Right from early infancy, parents will have to be very vigilant in probably developing a digital culture which also imposes appropriate time allocation for social media. You cannot do away with social media. That's a reality. When your child is into a behavioral addiction and he is into social media addiction, the results may not be magical. Don't be impatient. You will have to be very consistent, be patient, be supportive, and probably correct the behavior in step by step. It will take time, and you will have to be very consistent and be with the child in getting the child out of the behavioral addiction. Under 16 definitely need supervision, but within this supervision and limit setting, every child has to empower themselves for a responsible usage of the digital world and also the social media. They may be indulging in Facebook, they may be indulging in Instagram, they may be using a lot of other applications. But everyone has to develop a digital literacy, a digital discipline. The most important thing has to be taken from one of the major life skills, that is critical thinking. They may be saying so many things in the social media. There has to be a mind that asks, is this right? Do I need to swallow this as it is? Are there other dimensions to what I have seen? This critical thinking is very, very important. We see children simply sharing nonsense without this critical thinking, eventually spreading misinformation, misconceptions. So that sort of a critical thinking is very, very important. And there has to be a mind to identify predators. There are so many people in the online wanting to exploit children. It may be financial, it may be sexual, it may be blackmailing, it may be just to get the pleasure of by doing a bullying on child. One has to really identify such predators. And it is important to keep away all strangers in the online and never get connected with them. Never get into any financial things. You will have to really time manage, wherein you will have to spell out this much time I will spend for academics and I will only spend this much time for recreational usage. There are guidelines for that. Up to the age of 8, child should not engage in recreational usage of social media for more than 1 hour. And as they grow, the priorities shift. So only after fulfilling the priorities, that is academics, physical activity, socialization by face-to-face, probably nurturing hobbies like probably drawing, acting or reading, the leftover time you can use for recreational time. And certainly that will come below 2 hours. So make a practice that I will only use social media and digital device for recreational usage after satisfactorily fulfilling my responsibilities. This is very important. Every child has to be aware of the security. They should know how they should be safe in the cyber world. They should know what sort of strong password they can create. Your parent may be probably following you. Probably there is monitoring through online also, through certain applications. Don't get upset because they are doing it for your own sake. There are various ways by which an adult can track how much time you spend in online, what all things you do. All these things can be monitored. Allow them to do that because there may be instances where they can be a useful guide to you, wherein they can prevent you from getting into trouble. Whenever there is an instance of cyberbullying, you should know what to do. You should report it to an adult as early as possible, whatever be the reason. It may be embarrassing, but a non-judgmental adult will be with you to help you out. You keep the evidences intact so that even if you complain, you have evidences of cyberbullying. Expose a cyberbully so that that person doesn't bully anybody in future. When you are worried about people who abuse you, people who sort of intrude into your personal space, make sure that you also do not do that. Don't enter into the personal space of other people. Don't bully others. Don't abuse others online. As a child, you may be thinking that if I abuse online, they may not really spot me out. It's not like that. It is very easy to spot who abused whom. One has to be very vigilant about social media boundaries also. If you wisely use social media, your knowledge base will increase. You will have variety of experiences, but beware of bad experiences. The new generation is a glow generation. Why do I say it is a glow generation? Many of you are in the digital device and your face is lit with the screen light. Actually, the glow is only on the face. If you really want to make glow into your mind, you will have to be careful. You will have to be vigilant. You will have to be very judgmental in your usage. You will have to be free of all intrusions that can corrupt your personality. Use social media wisely and be a mature human being. If you don't do that, your life is spoiled.